Youth Sunday School. Today we are continuing our series on fruit, aka the fruits of the Spirit. So, let's go ahead and read that passage from Galatians, which our Sunday School series is based on. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There is no law against things like this. And today's focus is kindness. So, what is kindness? Again, this is another one of those really basic words that we probably all know what it means, but we're still going to look at it anyway in case we learn something new. So, the dictionary definition of kind, of a sympathetic or helpful nature, of a forbearing nature, arising from or characterized by sympathy or forbearance, of a kind to give pleasure or relief, affectionate, loving, about what you'd expect from the word kind. So the thing is, this is another one of those times when you need the dictionary to read the dictionary, because now we have to look up the word forbearance, which I think is important because it was mentioned twice in the definition of kind. So I feel like the word forbearance might give us a hint as to some, deeper understanding of kindness. Forbearance. A refraining from the enforcement of something, such as debt, right, or obligation. That is due. So, like mercy. The act of forbearing, patience. So, being patient, being merciful. These sound like other fruits of the Spirit. The quality of being forbearing, leniency. So, yeah, patient and forgiving is kind of the definition of forbearance, which fits in with kindness. So, one of the big things that I always talk about when I'm on the topic of kindness is that a lot of times people tend to mix up kindness with niceness. And on the surface, definition-wise, they probably mean about the same thing, but I feel like in our lives, kindness and niceness are actually pretty different. I think that kindness has a dimension of true caring to it, whereas with niceness, you're just trying not to ruffle any feathers or make anyone mad. Kind of like politeness versus really caring about someone. This hooligan. I think kindness goes farther than niceness. I think that kindness is more intentional than niceness. I think anyone can be nice to anybody, because it just means you're not being mean. Whereas being kind kind of implies that you go out of your way for someone. Another way to say this might be to mention that kindness is active, whereas niceness is passive. Kindness is something you decide to do. You decide to go out of your way to care about people, whereas niceness, you're just sailing on by, making sure you're not mean to people and that they're not mean to you, and you're just kind of being polite and showing basic decency. When we talk about kindness as a fruit of the Spirit, I think the most important thing to remember is that Jesus calls us to be kind, not nice. And that means that Jesus calls us to actively care about people. Whereas, the niceness people expect, a lot of people think the bare minimum is to not be mean. And when you live out your faith that way, it makes for a really neutral world, not being mean isn't the same thing as being kind. You can avoid saying cruel things or doing cruel things to people, and you still don't care about them. That's just basic decency. To live out our faith as Christians, we have to go out of our way to care about people. Even inconvenience ourselves at times, in order to care about another person. To see all human people as valuable and of sacred worth in God's eyes, and to really care about them. There's the one verse Jesus says where, I'm paraphrasing, but Jesus basically says, dang it, let me go find it. There's the verse where Jesus says in Matthew, he also says it in other Gospels, he says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 46, "If you love only those who love you, what reward do you have? Don't even the tax collectors do the same?" And so when this relates to kindness as a fruit of the Spirit, it means you gotta be kind to everyone, not just the people you like. It's easy to care about the people you like. It's harder to care about people you don't know or don't like. but Jesus calls us to care about everyone. And so kindness is something we have to pursue and work at. Niceness is easy. It's easy to not be mean or rude, hopefully. But kindness is harder. It's something we have to think about. It's something that is sometimes premeditated. You have to plan for kindness. You have to change your plans for kindness. You have to make some sacrifices in your life in order to be kind and to care about others. When we start living out that kindness, that more than niceness, the active caring about people and trying to make things better, that is a sign that we are following Jesus. That is a fruit of our spiritual life when we are actively kind and not just passively nice. So I hope that you all have a good week. I hope that you find ways to be actively kind and not just passively nice. And I think you should go pet a cute animal.